Hey guys, and welcome to another episode of my Trove News series. In this series, I give you guys all the information that I try and give us, and I give it to you guys in one easy video. So there's actually a lot to talk about today. Most of it is for the very far future, but still a lot to talk about. So the first thing is Diamond Dragon Egg Shards, and those are going to be talked about soon, they said, maybe even next week. So I'm super excited for that. If Diamond Dragon Eggs are farmable, I don't care if it takes 100 hours to farm them. I will be farming them. So if Diamond Dragon Egg Shards ever actually come out and are farmable, I will actually probably come back to the game, because that is all I am missing. That is the only reason why I don't need to actually play Trove nowadays, is because I have nothing to do. If Diamond Dragon Eggs come out to be farmable, I'll have something to do, so I'm super excited for that. People that spent thousands of dollars might not be, but hey, there's only a few of them, right? So next up, they talk about an in-game mod manager. Now, this is actually something pretty cool that I never thought of. Like, I never honestly thought of an in-game mod manager. So them talking about it and them saying that they might actually be adding it is pretty cool in my opinion. I think it's a very nice addition. It doesn't really hurt anything in the game. It doesn't do anything to the game, except it allows you to manage your mods in-game, which is pretty awesome. The one thing that I do hope and I do suggest is that it does notify about updates in-game, kind of how like mod managers do. So like if you log in and something is out of date, kind of like in WoW, people can have in WoW their add-ons, you know, when you log in into the chat, it'll say this is outdated version, please log out and upgrade to the new version. I hope that's kind of like a thing, so that way, you know, it'll automatically notify us when there is a new version of a certain mod that we're using, and we don't have to manually go onto the website every single day to see if there's a new update, when usually mod makers only update their mods every like month or so. So hopefully that is something, and again, I do suggest it if it's not already. Next up is crafting. So we've already talked about this last week, which is kind of how the rest of this video is going to go. A lot of stuff we've already talked about, more confirmations. So not last week, but the week before that, we talked about the whole like big power-up patch that's coming out next year. Like, they talked about it again, so that's going to include crafting improvements set for next year. The new Hydra boss and Shadow Towers 2.0 is set for next year, which is kind of disappointing since that was talked about last December, and you know, we have videos talking about it last December, and they're not, you know, planning on it until next year, and they can push it back after that. So I'm kind of disappointed, but at least we have some type of confirmation that is coming, which, I mean, I guess we had confirmation back in December, so hopefully it's true this time. They also talked about U10 is in this patch. The health regen buff is actually going to be a full revamp in this patch, so they're talking about maybe making it, my bad, kind of like life leech or something like that, to where it heals you for a good amount, and it's not just passive health regen. So that'll be pretty interesting. And also they talked about they will actually revamp the way that Shadow Tower keys are received with this patch as well. So you know how you have to go back to U6 to get moon fragments, and then you have to go back to like U5 or U4 to get the normal fragments. Well, they're talking about making a new way that Shadow Keys will exist, to maybe where you don't have to go back to old worlds that you've already progressed through to farm lower level keys. Maybe they'll just make one key and then they'll make a power level requirement. That's something that I just came up with in my head that they could do, just like make one universal key, and as long as you can enter the Shadow Tower, you can use the key, because there's no point in having different keys, you know, there's literally no point. If you can enter in ultra mode, you should be able to use, you know, the key in ultra mode, because you're, you know, it has a power level requirement to begin with to even get in there. So again, a suggestion, if that's not already what's the case, again, that might not be like the ultimate solution, they probably have a better solution, but that's just my solution. Next up, they also talked about Clubs 2.0, which is actually the next one. So the whole like power up patch, you know, the STs 2.0, Hydra 2.0, you know, crafting 2.0, all that, you know, power up stuff, that's for next year. The actual next patch is Clubs 2.0, which we've talked about a lot again. They talked about it, once again, being months away, so I'm expecting it to be near December. Hopefully not, but you know, they said that it is actually months away, because they did push it back, like we talked about a couple weeks ago. They did delay it a little bit longer, so that's probably going to be coming out towards the end of the year, and that is the whole like clubs revamp, where they're going to allow you to have more control over your clubs. They might be adding club leaderboards in terms of like arenas and stuff like that. So basically just everything to do with clubs. They're revamping clubs, so that's pretty exciting, to be honest, because I'm going to tell you, owning a full club for the past year has been one of the most annoying things in the the game, to be honest. Even though it's something I barely even have to manage, it's, you know, it's very annoying when I have to manage it. So hopefully they do something good with that. Next up is they talked about adding new rotational events, kind of like how we have the Super Saturday and then that Super Week. I forgot what it was called. It was the Anniversary Week. They're talking about having that as like a rotational thing, maybe weekly or bi-weekly. And they're pretty vague about what they were going to do, but honestly, it's probably just going to be double daily bonuses, kind of like, you know, 1 week there'll be double boxes, the next week there'll be double experience, stuff like that. That's most likely what they're going to be doing. But that'll be pretty cool because it gets people to log in. You know, maybe if you don't have all level 30s, that one double experience week will intrigue you to actually play the game. If you don't have max gems, like 99% of the player base, you know, that 1 week where you get double gem boxes will be good. Again, they didn't say exactly that's what's going to happen, but I'm just assuming because that's how it's been. Next up, they talked about console release. So this is actually, I guess, it depends on how you feel about console release, if you actually put any emotion into it or not, which I suggest not to. But if you do, they said the console release this year is actually most likely going to be a beta instead of a full release, and a full release won't be coming out until actually next year or in the future. So again, depends on how you felt about the console release. Again, I don't know why people are putting a lot of like thought into the console release, because consoles are locked at 30 FPS. And that is not smooth. So again, I don't really know why a lot of people are putting a lot of faith into the console release, but yeah, it's going to only be a beta this year, not a full release. So again, depends on how you feel about it. Next up, they talked about the Loot Collector. They're actually going to try to revamp the Loot Collector a little bit, where, you know, they've mentioned very many times before how they want to add a feature where you can deconstruct all. They want to add, like, item sorting in your bags and stuff. I'm assuming they're going to incorporate a bunch of things into Loot Collector, and they said they're just going to make it easier and more intuitive to use. So hopefully that speeds up a lot of deconstructing and stuff like that. I mean, when you have to deconstruct 3,000 gems a day, it gets very annoying, trust me. I know not a lot of people play like 16 hours like I do, but for a person like me, you know, it's very annoying how to deconstruct 3,000 gems a day, plus, you know, the thousands of shadow drops I get. It's gonna be awesome, hopefully they do it right. Also, they talked about less intrusive friend requests. Now, again, someone like me that get a lot of friend requests and a lot of invites, this is going to be pretty awesome. They didn't say specifically how they're going to do it. They just said, in general, they want to make it so that way when you get a friend request or an invite, it's not in the middle of the screen. It doesn't lock your screen until you click yes or no, and it's going to be kind of like a different section. Hopefully they don't move it to the friends list, honestly. I mean, it doesn't really matter because we have the /accept_all_friends command in chats, which is what I use to accept friends. But hopefully they don't move everything to the friends list because, you know, I can't open my friends list. It'll literally crash my game. So hopefully they do it right. Once again, everything in this list, I want them to do it right. I have kind of faith in them, hopefully. But next up, they talked about Community Dragons. Those will be coming next week, starting once again. I'm pretty sure they're probably just going to do it monthly if this is kind of like their plan, like considering last time they came out a month ago or maybe 2 months ago. I don't remember when the first batch of Community Dragons came out, but I think they're going to do the monthly, either that or they've just been lazy for the past month or two, and now they're like, okay, we're going to get our crap together and start finally releasing them. I don't know. But I do know that the second batch will be at least talked about next week, if not coming out next week. And then finally, the Dino Tamer and the Dino Biomes will finally officially be coming out next week. You don't have to pay $30 to get early access. It will be out for credits, and that's actually gonna be it. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Again, a lot of things, just not a lot of them are coming out anytime soon, but a lot of good things to look forward to. I haven't, like, not a single thing here was talked about that I thought, well, that's a bad thing. You shouldn't bring that to the game. You know, they're all good. I just hope that they execute them all good as well. But once again, that's going to be it for this video. If you guys enjoyed it, make sure to give it a like, and I'll see you guys next time.